We can't deny that video games are a part of modern day culture, and because of that, they tend to leave a mark on us. We all have that game or games that have stuck with us over the years, and we couldn't get enough. But despite that, we never got a sequel. With that in mind, I'm Elijah, and here are 5 games I think need a sequel. And since I have you guys here, can you please like, share, and subscribe and hit that little bell? I know it's annoying, but we are slaves to the YouTube algorithm. Thank y'all. Number 5. Hender. Who remembers this on the PlayStation CD demo? This game might be considered corny by today's standards, but back in the 90s, this game was the definition of cool. The setting is that there's a war between Earth and the Moon, and you play a daredevil pilot in a ship called Hender, which is German for one-handed, referring to a type of sword that's wielded by a single hand. The story and settings were dark and edgy, channeling the likes of Ghost in the Shell and Akira. And the soundtrack is to die for. I could literally just sit and listen to the music on loop. When most people think of shoot 'em up games, they think of games like Metal Slug. But for me, this was the de facto shoot 'em up game when I was growing up. And I think it needs a sequel or an HD remake. None of the gameplay feels out of date and would translate well to a modern system. Biggest advantage to a modern system would be horsepower. Besides just a graphical facelift, it would allow for more on the screen, more enemies, bigger environments, and possibly multiplayer co-op. Shoot 'em ups aren't really in vogue right now, but heck, I'd settle for a first-person shooter reimagining of this game or even an on-rail shooter like Star Fox. There's just a lot here I'd like to see again. Number 4. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Now I'm aware this game got a remake on the PSP called Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins, but that was in 2006, over 10 years ago. Feel old yet? So it's time to bring this franchise back from the undead. I'd like to see a proper sequel to this game. I feel like there's a lot of places this story could still go. And I think this game would feel right at home on the Nintendo Switch. Games like Octopath the Traveler shows that the Switch does well with mixing 2D and 3D elements. And the handheld home console hybrid would be perfect for fans who enjoyed the PSP version. I still think this franchise has a lot of life left, and it's just kind of been forgotten for whatever reason. But it needs to come back, if not for anything else, just so we can hear that theme again. Number 3. Pandemonium. I love this game, and it was the first game I ever played to feature fully voiced cutscenes. Looking back, I couldn't imagine graphics getting any better. The original game got a sequel called Pandemonium 2. But I think it needs a third game or a reboot. This is technically a 2D side-scroller that uses 3D environments and models. The game was funny, unique, and unpredictable. The environments were vibrant and colorful, and I'd love to see a modern version released in the form of a full 3D platformer. The characters and stories were memorable and saw our 2 heroes looking to undo a calamity they started by summoning a demon that's slowly devouring their home. The story and environments are what you get if Disney wrote a story and Guillermo del Toro directed it. It's fun, it's kooky, it's unique. It needs to come back. Number 2. Taz Wanted. I mentioned in a previous video that I love Jersey Devil, and we wouldn't get a game like it until much later. Well, that game was Taz Wanted. It had everything that Jersey Devil had, but it improved upon it. It has the Looney Tunes X design, but it has the advantage of actually being a Looney Tunes game and not just mimicking it. The game is actually like watching an episode of the Looney Tunes. You play Taz as he tries to avoid capture. To help him in his quest, Taz can don disguises that give him various power-ups and abilities. The boss battles are especially hilarious because they're all Looney Tunes characters. And spoiler alert for a 10-year-old game, the game contains a twist. The nefarious villain and the final boss of the game was none other than Tweety Bird. If fighting Tweety Bird in an Alien 2 inspired mech suit doesn't make you laugh, then nothing will. You heartless monster. This could have easily been a by-the-numbers tie-in game, or even a rip-off of another game like Crash Bandicoot, but instead it's actually fun and unique and captures everything Looney Tunes. We don't necessarily need a direct sequel to Task Wanted, but another game that continues to bring fresh and creative gameplay to the world of Looney Tunes would be most appreciated. The game would only look more like a cartoon thanks to modern day graphics and cell shading techniques. And number 1, Pokemon Snap. This game needs little introduction. It literally revolves around taking pictures of Pokemon, and it was this game that first sparked my interest in photography. Why a modern day version of this game hasn't been made is beyond me. Besides the third Star Wars trilogy, there hasn't been a franchise with such untapped potential. A sequel to this game would fit perfectly on the Switch or on mobile, and with motion controls and VR, the potential is virtually limitless. Plus, as of this recording, the Pokemon roster is nearly 8 times bigger than it was when this game was originally released. So there's an entire bevy of content to pull from. Not to mention, this game was fun. When I was recording footage for this episode, I kind of got so caught up in the game that I forgot what I was doing. But yeah, this game needs to happen, and it needs to happen in a snap. Well, look at you. You survived all my terrible puns and you made it to the end of the video. If you like this video, please give it a like, share, and a subscribe. We also have other social media you can follow us on, even a TikTok if you're into that sort of thing. Also, check out our website, www.theicon.com, where we post articles daily. Thank you very much, and have a good one.